So today I'm going to break down the latest promo trailer for The Flash Season 2 Episode 19 entitled Back to Normal. I'm also going to be breaking down some of the promotional pictures and then make some predictions. So there are spoilers up until Episode 19 and possibly beyond, so you have been warned. So the trailer opens with a shot of Caitlin tied to a bed in Zoom's lair, which if you remember we learned is the St. Perez Asylum for the Criminally Insane on Earth 2, the same place where he received his electroshock therapy. Barry is looking pretty bleak, waiting in line for coffee. Remember of course that Zoom took all of Barry's speed in the previous episode in exchange for the safe release of Wally West. So you can understand why he's looking so down, as one of his best friends is being kidnapped and is being held by Zoom, and of course he's lost his speed force. So the villain of this episode is Griffin Grey, played at first by Haig Sutherland. So Griffin Grey in the comics is quite interesting as he was the roommate and co-worker of Bart Allen, who as we know of course is the grandson of Barry Allen. So anyway, as I said, Bart Allen and Griffin Grey were caught in an explosion at work, which left Griffin with severe organ trauma and a few broken bones. However, when he was in the hospital, he started to develop powers and healed within a day. He found he was able to shoot green lightning, had enhanced vision, superhuman strength, and could manipulate energy. At first, he used his powers for good and even tried to stop a hostage situation. However, things went bad and Jay Garrick ended up having to save the day at the last minute. However, at first he also did manage to do some good. Although he developed a jealousy towards Bart Allen, who was more popular as the Flash, but the problem was that he found his new powers came at a great cost. He was aging incredibly fast. His skin quickly wrinkled and he turned grey, and it looks like they're going to use a similar storyline in this episode as we see him here as an old man. So it's because of this accelerating aging problem that is probably going to be the reason why he captures Wells, as the particle accelerator incident explosion probably gave him his powers and he's dying. Now of course he's going to get the wrong Wells. Now Earth 1 Wells, who of course was actually Eobard Thawne, was very public about him being responsible for the incident, and so it makes sense that Griffin would go after him in desperation. Now in the comics, Griffin is also desperate for a cure, and so he kidnaps the aging speedster Jay Garrick with the hope of studying his body to find a cure to his aging problem. However, Griffin eventually dies from this problem in the comics. So as we know, this is going to be a big problem for Barry as he has no speed, but he has his wits, and of course he has Cisco, who recently upgraded Barry's suit to be somewhat bulletproof. This was explained in the recent sponsored Chronicles of Cisco episode that aired. We also know from the synopsis that Barry is in desperation going to ask Jesse Wells for help in order to get her father back. Now it's going to be very interesting to see how they manage to stop Griffin. Will they be able to develop the cure for his accelerated aging, and what role is Jessie going to play in all of this? Now we haven't seen her since she left Central City for Opal City, and of course we have no idea what the long-term effects of that concentrated dose of Velocity 9 is having on her, that trajectory gave her. Now I would really love it if we found out that they didn't manage to get all the Velocity serum out of her body and that she has finally got her speed through Velocity 9, hopefully without any of the same side effects that Hunter Zolomon had. Now can you imagine how awesome it would be to see her suited up as Jessie Quick with Barry fighting against Zoom? After all, they kept Trajectory's suit so she could just slip into that. I think it's also likely that the Velocity serum is going to be how Barry may get his speed back in order to fight Zoom and eventually get his proper speed force back. Now the synopsis also has Wally confronting his father Joe about how he knows the Flash. So it's going to be interesting if Joe tells him the truth or if he continues to keep him in the dark. Now even if Wally suspects that Barry was the Flash, it'll now be impossible for him to prove it because Barry of course doesn't have his speed anymore. I really think this is going to be a very revealing episode, and I'm particularly looking forward to the Hunter Zolomon and Caitlin interaction on Earth 2. Hopefully we're going to find out exactly why Zoom decided to kidnap Caitlin. Could it have anything to do with the fact that she was getting close to figuring out a perfected Velocity serum and he didn't want her to be able to work on it with Barry and then give him back his speed? And another big question is Caitlin going to come face to face with her doppelganger from Earth 2, aka Killer Frost? And how will the issue of accelerated aging in this episode, or the accelerated aging cure, somehow tie into the larger issue with Zoom? As I mentioned in previous videos, I just have a feeling that Hunter Zolomon is from a lot further back in the past than we may think, so this aging issue may come into play. And how exactly is Jessie going to help Barry find her dad? Harrison has of course said that Jessie's even cleverer than he is, so in Caitlin's absence, will she be the one to finally perfect the Velocity serum? So many possibilities, and I can't wait to find out. So I want to know, do you think that Jessie's finally going to get her speed, and how is Barry going to be able to stop Griffin Grey and get Wells back? So there you have it. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and then share it. I post lots of videos every week on comic book, movies, TV, including Star Wars, Game of Thrones and other blockbusters, so why not subscribe? Thanks again. Cheers for now.